You are the main story on the Philly D?
Beautiful.
Oh, god damn. That's going to be annoying. Hasan Piker platforming terrorist scandal? That's crazy, dude. Oh, god. Oh, here we fucking go. Come on, Philip. Don't do this.
What are your thoughts here? And then in social media news connected to real world news, there are people fighting about a question.
This is such a ridiculous fucking thing, dude.
Is Hasan Piker platforming terrorism? That's what a chunk of the internet is fighting about right now, and it's all because of a person that the internet has dubbed.
No, they're not. No, they're not. This is not a real fucking thing, okay? This is not a real argument. It's going to become one now because it's like growing into a larger momentum, but that's because people look at accounts like fucking this guy, okay, and they go, this is a real valid concern. I'm sorry, but if you look at a fucking meme like this and go, well, this is real, genuine, contentions here, it's like, come on. How do these guys always lap up AstroTurf drama from motherfucking anime avatar accounts, dude? Jesus Christ. Oh, it's like one Discord server that gets to manipulate literally half of liberal online journalists. Like, how is this possible?
Houthi Chalamet. Right? We've talked in greater detail about the Houthis in TikToks, even in yesterday's show and others. But the oversimplified TLDR, in case this is the first video that you stumbled upon where I'm talking about it, is that they're a Yemeni rebel group. And they recently attacked ships in the Red Sea in response to Israel's attacks on Gaza. And very notably, that has included U.S. vessels. So actually, as of this morning, Biden has redesignated the Houthis as terrorists, which is very big because he previously removed them from that list. But this is the Houthi leaders have defended their actions, saying they're doing what they're doing to support the Palestinian people and to pressure Israel and its allies to end the war. And so all of that brings...
Never mind, it's not too bad actually so far.
You might actually recognize from his viral videos like this one, with one person sharing it on Twitter with a caption, Yemeni pirates posting casual TikToks while the entire Western Imperial Corps having a meltdown about their blockade on their ships is the funniest shit of 2024, surely. New Advice actually doing a piece on it, identifying him as Rashid al-Haddad, noting that in that clip, he's on the Galaxy Leader, which is a cargo ship seized last year by the Houthis. But they also said that there's no clear evidence that he was actually part of the raid that captured the ship, but he did post photos of him in gear and carrying weapons, so people online have called him a pirate. And yesterday, political commentator Hasan Piker actually interviewed him on his stream, and saying in a later post, I interviewed the Yemeni, quote, pirate yesterday, and all he cares about is freeing Palestine. Turns out he's not part of any militancy, according to him, and is 19. Spent most of his life being bombed, says he welcomes all who defend Palestine no matter their background. And right off the bat, with the way that Hasan started the interview, you had people accusing him of trying to baby girlify a terrorist. Because Hasan asks him if he's seen the anime One Piece, and then actually comparing the Houthis to the show's main character.
We think the Houthis, Ansar Allah, is doing what Luffy would do.
Hasan also asking if he's part of a militancy or just a TikToker, which he said through his interpreter.
His answer is a Yemeni who stands with Palestine.
Hasan then asking him what compelled him to
I think that's fair.
actually go on the ships, as well as other questions about news coverage about the situation and motivations behind it.
Says he likes adventures and he is a big supporter of Palestine. Just reiterating that the cause is to cause disruption to the shipments that Americans have interest in until they stop bombing Gaza, and that if they weren't affected by it, then they wouldn't.
No, this is not bad. It's just clickbait title. Or unless it like takes a heel turn. Oh, it's gonna take a heel turn. Never mind. He's fucking framing Destiny as a decent interlocutor in this subject. Liberal Philip DeFranco, you're putting a fucking person who has routinely said, I am Osama bin Laden, and is like one of the most Islamophobic people literally in liberal media.
Retaliate on Yemen.
And in this, there are also other bits unrelated to the conflict, or things like what is life like in Yemen, what other TV shows that he watches, stuff like that. And so with all this, depending on where you went online, you had people having drastically different reactions. There was a lot of backlash, people saying Hasan was platforming a terrorist.
Like the people that he's platforming in this coverage are random ass fans of Destiny who are absolute psychopaths. Okay? I'm sorry, this is not like valid coverage. This is not real. Okay, I mean, maybe he'll show like the other side of the story.
Honing in on that whole One Piece comparison, saying that's brain rot. It's actually one of the most viral reactions to that being from political commentator Destiny.
Dude, we think the Houthis, Ansar Allah, is doing what Luffy would do. You should tell him that.
God, he's so cringe. He's like such a cringe loser. I would pay so.
Dude, it's so sick. I hadn't seen this clip, but I do love personally that this is what stands for political commentary. That's awesome.
We'd raise $1 million to send this dude to go fight in Yemen, and then all of us would volunteer for the Navy. Holy shit, he's such a cringe, LARPing loser I cannot believe, like, nobody in the history, no fascist ever could have dreamed of such an amazing representation of socialism as the most anti-American, like, pro.
Wait, so his political commentary is that I should go to Yemen and get blown to bits? That's the retort that he has, and that I'm cringe. Like, my take on the One Piece comparison is, one, partially a joke, but two, to, you know, try to open up more conversation so he doesn't immediately assume that this is a hostile audience. If you guys noticed in that interview, I also asked if he had any affiliations. How dare you relate to people through shared interests? Exactly. Great take, man. Thank you. Thank you for your political commentary on this matter. I'm cringe, and I should get blown to bits, and you should join the Navy with your fucking loser 38-year-old IT specialist brigade of cyber stalkers. I love his commentary being, I hope American empire kills you. And Philip DeFranco's like, well, I think these things are valid.
Islamic terrorist, Turkish immigrant loser that is like cheering on attacks
An Islamic terrorist Turkish immigrant loser
on merchant ships as this multi-millionaire guy living in West Hollywood.
On the other side of this, you had people defending Hasan, saying that Hasan is actually doing the public an enormous service by speaking to a regular Yemeni guy with regular hopes, dreams, and hobbies, and asking, where were you?
I like that the people defending me are being like, hey man, it's normal to humanize a regular 19-year-old that's like grown up being blown to bits. And then the people who are attacking me are like, hey, this Islamic supremacist Muslim terrorist loser should go to Yemen and get blown to bits by the Navy. I can't wait for all of us to go and join the Navy so we can kill him. That's good. That's good. Like, I love the liberal framework here. It's like one side is like, oh, you interviewed someone whose experience has been death and destruction their entire lives that we are currently justifying to kill. Okay. Well, I hate that. You're a Muslim supremacist terrorist fuck from Turkey who we should kill ourselves. Will there be a punishment for these racist remarks? Of course not, because people think that that is scathing commentary. They think that that is insightful, because a lot of people can lean on pre-existing structural forms of oppression, like Islamophobia. That is precisely the reason why, and I will show you. There is a, I believe it was a Wall Street Journal article that featured the Biden administration's opinions on what should happen in Gaza. Let me see if I can find it. I wonder if he deleted it or not, but we'll see. Like, the guy in question was born in 2005, which means he was like 9 when the war in Yemen started in 2014. I think people don't realize this. Yeah. Yeah, by the way, people interview those with opposing viewpoints all the time. Opposing viewpoints to you all the time. So if you interview him and put it on YouTube, you'd be a journalist, but since it's on Twitch, you should be killed. Yeah. Exactly. Hold on. Do you have the Treat King John Podhoraz's tweet about the Arab reporter from, I think it was Wall Street Journal or Washington Post? He quote tweeted this guy openly saying that here. Let me see if I can find it. Is this it? Yeah. Akbar Shahid Ahmed wrote about the Biden administration and what the Biden administration's plans were for Gaza, which was a continuation of the Trump administration's opinion on what to do with Gaza, right? Completely wrote off Palestinians entirely. The Biden administration turned around and said that this was fake news. This was actually good journalism, the reporting from Akbar Shahid Ahmed. John Podhoraz responded to that by saying, I am going to call you Hamas boy from now on, Hamas boy. Now, John Podhoraz is literally the editor of commentary. He's a columnist for the New York Post, and he used to be the co-founder of the Weekly Standard. This guy is a right-wing shithead that gets a lot of coverage in mainstream media, okay? This is a legitimate person of notoriety. Why does he feel so comfortable saying that about a Middle Eastern reporter, an American reporter of Middle Eastern descent, because Islamophobia is perfectly allowed. Anti-Arab sentiment, anti-MENA sentiment in general is perfectly allowed. And liberals have no way of going, wait a minute, this guy's just being a fucking racist piece of shit. He's not even Middle Eastern, he's Pakistani. Okay. Regardless, it's all under the same umbrella. If you are Muslim or if you have a Muslim name, I mean, look at me. This is a great example. I'm not Arab. I'm Turkish. I'm pretty white passing, right? But all of a sudden, you're a fucking terrorist, dog. You're a terrorist. I have a feeling that Podhoretz might be describing a Pakistani writer as Hamas boy for reasons other than his actual writing. It's pretty amazing how just blatantly Islamophobic these men can be, says Elad Neharai. It's pretty amazing just how blatantly Islamophobic these men can be without any professional repercussions. It's just the way their world works. It is the exact same reason as to why that dude who worked in the Obama administration on Israel-Palestine in the State Department felt comfortable being so overwhelmingly racist that halal cart guy.
Did you rape your daughter like Muhammad did? Did you rape your daughter like Muhammad?
I speak English.
You only speak English?
No speak English. No.
You don't speak English?
Yes.
All right. Well, that just shows how ignorant you are. Because Muhammad was a rapist. It says in the Hadith. In your holy book.
Oh Muhammad.
What?
Oh Muhammad.
Muhammad, your prophet. You know who he is.
Because that's normal. He's like, what do you mean? I do this all the time. Like, what? Of course I'm going to be fucking profoundly racist to this dude. Profoundly Islamophobic to this dude. Because the reality is that this is a decent substitute for genuine political commentary and genuine retorts.
Islamic terrorist, Turkish immigrant loser that is like Islamic terror socialism as the most anti-American, like pro-Islamic terrorist, Turkish immigrant loser that is like cheering on attacks on merchant ships as this multi-millionaire guy living in West Hollywood.
On the other side of the
Great commentary. Seems pretty good. Seems like a pretty valid retort there.
you had people defending Hasan, saying that Hasan is like,
I think he would do a better job if he didn't just like get so horny with his anger and once again demonstrate that he just simply cannot look at the situation from a decent moral framework that he supposedly is defending all the time. Isn't this Connor guy being responded to in the tweet here the counterpoints loser who was a cop who assaulted his wife? That's what I've heard. Anyway, this guy works for him, I think, but let's continue.
It's actually doing the public an enormous service by speaking to a regular Yemeni guy with regular hopes, dreams, and hobbies, and asking where were you for the past 10 years when the Yemeni people lost lives and limbs just for the crime of existing. And others saying that the interview is actually amazing, with Hasan humanizing him and wanting us to understand that he is just a normal Yemeni teen. But with all that said, I gotta pass the question off to you. Where do you land on this? I know there's two camps. I don't know if there's a third where you're landing somewhere in between. But what do you think about it?
You were kind of taking him out of context, even in that clip. Wait, really? Wait, can you please explain to me the worthwhile commentary of someone saying I'm like a cringe pro-Islamic terrorist loser from Turkey that should go into Yemen, and then you guys can kill, your fan base can go and join the Navy so you can kill me? What's the commentary there? Oh, you mean just the beginning? You're kind of taking him out of context? You missed the start of his sentence? I love the brain worms that people have where they're like, no, you don't understand. This is actually, I'm going to sit here and intellectualize a racist screed that you've heard 1,000 times over from many different types of people, including in the right-wing sphere of influence, but certainly from liberal commentators as well. Like the notion that there is some genuine, valid, principled stance here and not pure Islamophobia is hilarious. Okay? It is no different than the Reddit debates that I read when like the two dumbest motherfuckers on the planet duked it out on the Trainwreck podcast. Okay? Aiden Ross versus Destiny, right? Where Destiny's literal fucking argument supposedly was simply saying that one of Aiden's Muslim friends was actually a terrorist who died with a suicide bomb. He made a fucking suicide bomb joke, and then his entire psychopathic fan base on Reddit We're trying to moralize that and intellectualize that to be like, well, actually, the likelihood that someone who's of Muslim descent, a random Muslim person who probably would die by being a suicide bomber is actually quite high, which is precisely the reason why, making that claim is perfectly valid. Now, of course, the other side of that conversation is not a valid one either. Aiden responded by calling him the F slur like a fucking million times over. They were having a mid-off. I mean, here. You want to know? You want to know what his fan base looks like? I hope he cries on stream when his new co-host is in multiple pieces. The number one political pundit in alt media. In the alt media world is interviewing Houthi pirates. You literally can't make this shit up, lol. They deserve all the things I cannot say. I hope he cries on stream when he sees his new co-host in multiple pieces. That would make me come, says the guy who has dubstep enjoyer, pro Second Amendment, sock them, Globe Twitter, DGG for life, which for those of you who don't know is Destiny's online community. That's what it's called, is DGG. American Exceptionalist, 40K, Las Vegas Sphere's strongest soldier, Ukrainian American. Just a real mentally stable guy. Clearly fantasizing about like some fucking 19-year-old Yemeni kid getting blown to bits by American weapons. Here's the thing. And I mentioned this before, and I'm going to be as charitable as I physically, humanly possibly can here. I talked about this earlier without actually mentioning this person or the thousands of other comments that I saw. I talked about this earlier. You only have this perspective because you don't have all the nice things that you're supposed to have. Okay? The thing is, we don't have healthcare. We don't have infrastructure. We don't have, decent prospects for education. Education being the most important step in upward social mobility. Our material conditions here in the United States are not great. So when you don't have any of those things, yeah, his location says Langley, Virginia. Shut the fuck up, chatters. When you don't have those things, I get it. Oh, he's a Fed. Okay, you got it. You're great. You noticed that. Fine. That's why he's probably memeing. But my point is broader than this, okay? My point is broader than this. When you don't have any of those nice things that you're supposed to have, and the only thing you have to show for American empire is just more dead children, more dead brown children overseas, okay? That's the only thing that you get. That's the dying rattle of the death rattle of a dying empire. It's the last thing that you can get excited about is like, yeah, well, at least we're killing people. At least we're killing people overseas. And it's kind of sad because a lot of people don't realize that if we weren't spending so much time and effort doing that, we could perhaps use some of those funds on saving ourselves, on making American lives a little bit better. Brother, please don't give these people too much credit. They're just racist. They don't care about all that. No, but where does racism come from? I talk about charitability to even racist people as well. Where does that racism come from? The goal as a leftist, as a socialist, as a progressive person, is supposed to be changing the underlying material conditions so that it is harder to become a racist person, okay? That you're not radicalized by your circumstances. I know that these guys are not charitable, okay? But you have to still remember that there is a broader structural problem in the United States of America that churns out these results. Sure, the American super profits that we all benefit from make it so that our radical supremacist psychos rarely ever, become ISIS, right? Because we have the Westboro Baptist Church here, but what do? They LARP, and then they turn around and they go to Applebee's and they get $5 jalapeno poppers. That's what our radical fundamentalist religious psychos do. And then sometimes a mass shooting. But for the most part, that's what our radical fundamentalist psychos do. Because the material conditions are relatively better. But it's not good enough. The fact that there are still reactionary weirdos out there implies that we have a lot of issues to solve, is what I want to examine. Yeah, no amount of bombing Yemen is going to cause you to get your job back after getting laid off. No amount of bombing Yemen or opening up new fronts is going to turn your life around. You're just going to, for a brief moment, feel like you dominated someone who has significantly less than you. You think spiritually we've actually achieved something here, but we have not. And before people turn around and say things of this nature like, oh, don't you agree with these guys? Don't you agree with everything they're doing? Don't you agree with all of that? If that is your framework, we can have a conversation on those boundaries. You cannot come to me and say you're an Islamist, fundamentalist, terrorism supporting piece of shit. You know, go back to Turkey and the like, and then turn around and go, but actually I was simply making a reasonable argument about the motivations of this 19-year-old or Hassan's interest in interviewing him. Because that's not what you said. You said the thing that you said. If you wanted to say something else, you would have said something else. But you didn't say those things. You said the thing that you said. So why? Why is it that so many of you rush to act as though there is an underlying broader point here when time and time again, this person has demonstrated that they are genuinely Islamophobic? They've said it themselves. I mean, that's their perspective. Here, I'll run a quick, easy search here. Okay, Destiny addresses. I said Destiny Islamophobia. Destiny addresses the Islamophobia allegations.
Very, very clear here. I want to be very, very, very clear here because people seem to misunderstand this. People don't get this. Destiny's joke borders pretty hard on Islamophobia. I am Islamophobic and I hate Islam. I'm an atheist. Yes. I will make Islamophobic jokes because I do hate Islam and I am Islamophobic. Very, very clear here. I want to be.
It took me 3.5 seconds to come to this. It took me 3.5 seconds to find this. Okay? It's not that difficult. Like, this is a genuine motivator for his framework. That's it. To make this assertion that this is a defensible position is no different than the very same interlocutors that he used to own in the marketplace of ideas, the likes of the Sam Harris types in the past. So don't come in here and try to moralize it. Don't come in here and try. It's out of context, Lamau. Yes. He literally thought Erdogan was the Palestinian president. He's a fucking joke. I know. Is there more so we can't claim that you're clip chimping? I don't know. I don't know how to watch a full-blown kick clip overall. Schizo's live reacting, so they'll be brain dead? Sure.
About the platforming and interview? What do you think about the reactions? What do you think about any and all of it and why? Let me know in those comments down below. And then there's even more news that we got to talk about today, but I got to take a second to pay some bills because let's face it.
Also, who cares? No amount of clips where he directly says Islamophobic things will convince those who defend him that he's wrong. No, I know, which is why I usually don't spend a lot of time on this kind of thing. Actual journalists like Ryan Grimmer retweeting your interview. Meanwhile, Globe Emoji liberals are speedrunning 2001 Islamophobia in your mentions. Exactly. This is it? What is this?
Honestly, I'm pro-genocide. Like, it sounds really shitty, but like I think that Israel should just drop its fucking borders about where it is now, and basically Palestinians can go live in another place. That's really shitty, but like that's about.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that. You 100% you could say that. If you are a supporter of Israel, you could say that as a joke, seriously, and you're not going to suffer repercussions for that.
All right.
Also, Destiny.
يدعون انهم يخدمون القضيه
Bashar al-Assad, is that this guy?
الفلسطينيه وان القضيه الفلسطينيه
No.
هي الاولى عندهم.
Fuck. Wait. Who is this? Who are these people? Fuck. Am I just supposed to know?
وان القضيه الفلسطينيه هي الاولى
This isn't him.
عندهم.
Oh, Erdogan.
القدس هي هدف.
Is it Erdogan? Erdogan? I don't know the fuck to pronounce this guy's name.
Why should he know? Why should he know these things? That's the whole point. If you are directly motivated by racist screeds, and that is your substitute for Middle Eastern policy, I mean, there's plenty of evidence that you can compile from mainstream media that you can use to justify your framework. But ultimately, it doesn't matter. You don't have to know. You think fucking Klansmen know the intricacies of black culture or black existence in America? No, of course not. They don't. Why should they? If they did, they probably wouldn't have those positions. That's my point. The difference, however, is that in the United States of America, there are a lot of people, as a consequence of the 20-year affair that is known as the War on Terror, and all of the media training that was necessary for people to either turn the other cheek, look the other way, or directly champion that war on terror, have been brain poisoned into thinking that every Muslim is this like barbarian freak that deserves ethnic cleansing. So my point is, there are a lot of people that agree with this framework, and they do not think about what they are saying, what they are defending. They think about this as, you know, haha, whatever, who gives a shit? I can't wait for his new Wikipedia research stream so that I can actually develop my positions, even though I'm just basically, you know, going to repeat whatever he's saying. It sucks. I just simply want charitability, okay? Charitability is all I ask for.
When did he become president of Israel? Previous.
That's it. It's going to be so annoying anytime you pull up a page on Wiki. No, I mean, I use Wikipedia as well, okay? Please don't misunderstand me. I sometimes even look at Reddit. The reason he hates people like you because you're raising the quality bar is a musical. No, I don't even care. You can be a music school dropout, which alone doesn't mean much, but he's also profoundly lazy. I don't even think he's profoundly lazy. I don't believe those things. I don't agree with those things. Okay, maybe he's probably a little lazy, but being a music school dropout doesn't automatically disqualify you, okay? Oh, I fucking went to school for this. Who cares? Okay? That doesn't make me more knowledgeable automatically. I think that the inherent biases that one has legitimately causes one to see things in a very narrow focus, okay? Whether it be the personal biases that Destiny has towards me, which he has also obviously openly admitted way back in the day. Those Reddit logs or those DGG posts are still very much available for all that want to see it, where he's like so upset about Hassan's success. I made him, blah, blah, blah. Right? Here's the thing. Before I get to the heated Israel versus Palestine debate with Bassem Youssef again, it's not the fact that he's a music school dropout that makes him bad or not knowledgeable. There are plenty of brilliant people that didn't go to college, and there are plenty of dumbasses who did go to college. I'm a dumbass who went to college, okay? Doesn't mean shit. The issue is, if you have these incredible biases, it actually neuters your commentary. It's ironic because many people say I have a bias against America, that I'm America bad and America bad only, and that's my only commentary on the subject. That's not the only commentary I have on the subject. There's plenty of historical background that I provide for why I make statements when I do make said statements. And anytime I engage in some level of description, anytime I engage in a contextualization, people immediately go, oh, you're defending the bad actions and you like the bad actions because America decided they were bad and you're bad. You hate America. There's so much more. Anytime I give historical context, people say I'm rambling as well. It's just a way to, boom, stop the conversation dead in its tracks. Just agree with me. It's the same principle behind going, you're a terrorist supporter. You support terrorism. Why would you cover this conversation? Why would you have a conversation with a person? Why would you even humanize them? They're a terrorist. They love slavery. They love doing slavery. I bet they love doing slavery. And it's like, you don't know any of those things. You made this assertion. And the leading motivator when making such an assertion in your mind was racism. It's a quick way to just immediately shut off anyone who is even remotely intellectually curious. And is the easiest way for you to see issues with a slant that causes you to not fully grasp the situation on the ground. Folks, if you're coming in here and you've never watched me before or you've only seen clips of me, I urge you to stick around because I promise you, okay, beyond the massaged narratives off of 8-second clips, you will develop a much better understanding of what I support and what I advocate for and where I'm coming from. I am first and foremost going to be charitable, no matter what. And I do admit that over the course of the past couple of years, the relentless attacks have made me infinitely less charitable to those, and it makes me feel as though, sometimes, inappropriately, that any contentious chatter is actually a bad faith debater. Interesting you say that, but then do the exact same to D-Man, use 8 seconds of clips against them. So mad, Omega Law. I think that is a charitable and honest framework that I have withstood time and time again. If Destiny wanted, to present himself a little bit better, I assume he wouldn't personally say vicious things time and time again. But I don't think that there is any way that I can convince you that he is Islamophobic, for example. Okay? I can't. Because I think you agree with him. That's the point. But it's okay.